Yes, good that you're watching, of course, to the weekly Monday stream. Maybe you hear it already. My voice is not fully back yet. Um, yeah, I just came back from a long weekend. A long weekend to Ibiza with some friends, and you probably know Ibiza. They're known for their parties, so we went to some, and yeah, I'm still recovering a bit from that. So it will be a very laid back stream. I actually have not even watched the Sunday video that Dennis and Joyce did. So maybe we can watch that together and look at the gaming news. How's everyone doing? Let's see if we're fully live. If I hit all the right, yeah, I think we are. Nice. Raving. Yeah, you could call it that, Melissa. Hey, Severus, good to see you. Hope you had a lovely trip, Pepsicola. I had a fantastic time. We had a really, really fun time. We had a pool, so we were chilling during the day. And then, yeah, looking around a bit. But it's a pretty nice island, actually. But yeah, everywhere you go, you have billboards of all the parties that are going on. So you're doing something wrong if you don't go there. Watch party. You're live in Murk. Good, good, good. Digimon looking better than Pokemon games right now. What happened when I was gone? Thanks, Brock, for noting. You're farming for views by watching his own videos. Someone has to do it, Samaya. I know you won't, so that's why I'm going to make you watch it with me during stream. How's everyone been? Has anyone played Death Stranding 2? I'm curious to hear thoughts on that. Or did anyone... I posted a short about it, and the comments are, of course, amazing. Because... imagine you have a different opinion. We can like quickly look at that. Look at the shorts. So this is the short. Okay. All he said is that it was not for him. Wait, let's move my my head, otherwise. All he said, it was not for him. Where are all the glazes coming from? Can we like do best? Why are there like four? This is not the best comment. Thanks for the tip. I tried to love the first one, but the gameplay made me give up at around 12 hours. Yeah, then I just don't think this is gonna be for you. Did you take a pill in Ibiza? Yeah, to show a VGI was cool. I don't play mids as Sumaya after having finished another anime game. Now I'm playing Avowed for some reason. I can't answer. I mean, I had a good time with Avowed for what I played. One of the things I really loved about Avowed is how they had like really cool rewards for doing a lot of the exploration things with, which I think a lot of like, yeah, especially Ubisoft open worlds, they never seem to nail the rewarding your time for like cool stuff. Although Shadows, of course, had like legendaries from all the castles and stuff, which was nice. But you can spend a few hours in that world and not have like any meaningful upgrades. The Black Flag remake is on the horizon. I mean, people are, yeah. We had the voice actor right at like one of his like signings saying that, hey, you're gonna have to play or finish Black Flag again. I'm surprised that they've, like, everyone has talked about it. Like even the statue makers, right? They're also saying, oh, we have all the statues for all the assassins, but one is missing, and there's a good reason for it. But yeah, it's gonna happen. Going to start it this holiday weekend. Oh, nice. You have like a longer weekend? Or is it like a public holiday thing that I'm not aware of? I don't really care about DS2 or 1. Yeah, I totally, like, I think it's awesome that the game exists. It's like a very unique experience. For me, it was mostly, you guys know me, I was mostly impressed by the technical side of it. And I was like, oh, Horizon 3 is gonna be freaking amazing. And I really think, like, my prediction is that they're going to use all the environmental things so that in the open world suddenly a firestorm happens, or maybe if like one of the machines use like fire attacks, then actually the trees are gonna like burn and then it might go through the whole forest, or that there will be earthquakes and stuff like that. I really think they're gonna, I mean, they always want to have some sort of technical leap with every Horizon game, and yeah, I think they're gonna do that. Of course, in the Burning Shores DLC, they had like the cloud tech and how there's like a thunderstorm happening and stuff. So I really think they're gonna go crazy with Horizon 3. That is my biggest takeaway from Death Stranding 2. I can't wait for Horizon 3. Hey, Jet Laner, good to see you. That Statue Makers guy was wild for saying that. And he was like kind of cocky about it too. It's like, you guys don't know, right? Like, you're not a real Assassin's Creed fan if you don't know about this leak. And then this other girl was like trying to save her job. She was like, it has not been announced yet, right? No, it has. I saw a rumor about it. Then it has not been announced. Like, she was right. You guys know the video. We actually watched it here at one point. Isa's saying, I did not really enjoy the first one. Didn't give it a chance, but I might buy this one. If you did not give it a chance, then I do think it's like starting with the second one is better, because high chance you won't like the first, like you won't. It's like a 100-hour journey if you're gonna start with one and you want to kind of go to the second one. I think the second one, the pacing is way better. You get way cooler stuff early on, so that makes the deliveries more fun. Ah, America's birthday on Friday, nice. So it's like a longer weekend, cool. Ghost Recon going in alpha testing this fall. Yeah, we saw there was like an Insider Gaming article, right? Tom Henderson getting them scoops. Yeah, here. Whip. Insider Gaming has learned the next Ghost Recon mainline game, codenamed Over, will be going into its internal alpha test later this year. According to several sources, the game will enter internal alpha in the fall of 2025. As Ubisoft said, new internal milestones for its major projects following the announcement that will, like, I really think that without the delay, they might have like, so of course with Outlaws, everything went to shit. That game, of course, underperformed significantly. That game sold like 2 million, maybe. That's crazy for a Star Wars open world game that had more hype before the announcement than after. Yeah, people were like in their head making up this cool Star Wars open world game from Ubisoft. They were like, this could be cool. I think it's still like a fine game, but that's not good enough anymore. So yeah, then they delayed, of course, all their games, and yeah, seems like they're gonna. So basically, what this article is saying, I already read it. Expected launch sometime in 2026, with sources indicating that the internal alpha to final release could take around 12 months. So yeah, that's like what they are usually doing. So if it's like at the end of the year, going into the internal alpha state, then it means that I think they're gonna aim for like September, August, because really launching at the end of 2026, I don't think is smart. With like Call of Duty, of course, always around that time, and they're going first person now and not third person. So yeah, I'm curious to see if this will go well, because I think them ditching the third person perspective, I don't know if that's gonna be smart. Don't buy the hype if you did not play one. Yeah, talking about Death Stranding, of course, again. Kojima's going around on a private jet doing a world tour for it. Is he really going on a private jet? I mean, does that make sense? I do think it. Business class, I think, would have been like fine too. That's all I can think about Death Stranding 2. I can't wait for Horizon 3. We're on the same page, Pepsi Cola. Hey, Silver Fox, the AC4 game is an absolute worst kept secret in gaming at this point. They may as well get the trailer ready to go. I really, and we talked about it before as well. I would not be surprised if they're going for a really short announcement to release window. Of course, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster really worked, shadow dropping that. Maybe you want like a little leeway, but Ubisoft has some other stuff to focus on. I don't know. I think like actually having like they wanna I think focus on Shadows first. Of course, the DLC is seemingly dropping in September. You don't want to like have the Black Flag Remain take away from that. So it really depends on when it's gonna launch. If it's like early 2026, maybe Game Awards, do it there, and then bam, it's out in January, something like that. Oh man, first person Ghost Recon, yeah. Let's hope Star Wars Eclipse do better than Outlaws because it's also open world. Is Star Wars Eclipse open world? That's the Quantic Dream game. I don't think it's open world. Wildlands was great. Love the open world approach. Not very excited for first person, but we will see. Yeah, I think it's... I don't know. They had like something with Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's like sold very well. And people still showed up for Breakpoint even though... Yeah, way less. But that was mostly because of the quality of the game. And there are way more first-person shooters than third person. And they also have Far Cry next year or in early 2027. So... Again, I think their release schedule next year is going to be very, very interesting. I think Far Cry might be early 2027. Ghost Recon in September. Again, I don't think you want to hit October. And then Hexe in November. That would be my guess. And then Splinter Cell, summertime. Do you think they will keep it open world if it's going first-person shooter? Yeah, Coxman. They all, of course, like they're not gonna completely make a completely different game. It's still going to be open world, co-op. Yeah, I think the formula will be, kind of the same. But I think the most exciting part is that they're taking their time with it. Breakpoint came out in 2019, so it will be 7 years when this one comes out, which is a good amount of time. That's crazy. Doc Hamster is saying, do you think the timer progression in Dawnwalker is the system they're going to be used in Far Cry 7? Yeah, so for people who don't know, of course, the Blood of Dawnwalker... I said it right. I always say the blood of the Dawnwalker, but it's Blood of Dawnwalker. Right? Either way. How they... Like, let's have like maybe an article explaining, because I know Dennis talked about it too in the Sunday video. Let's just grab that part from the Sunday video. So Maya, you might want to look away if you don't want to watch the videos. No, I'm kidding. You probably already watched it, right? Okay. Here. Let's listen to what Dennis has to say here. I'm the only one allowed to react to my own videos, by the way. Oh, we have to turn on the audio.
This week, we also got our first proper look at gameplay for the Blood of Dawnwalker, the vampire-themed RPG being developed by ex-CDPR staff. And Rebel Wolves is implementing a ton of unique features for this game that have me really excited. The biggest one is the effect day and night will have on gameplay. During the day, protagonist Cohen is a proficient sword fighter, and as long as he's not wanted by the ruling vampires, can simply move around towns like he's a regular citizen. Combat's also looking pretty fun, by the way, with a directional input system for both your attacks and incoming enemy strikes, so somewhat similar to...
Yeah, the combat looked way better than I expected from the trailers, and I saw some people still being like, oh, it looks wanky, but I think it looks pretty cool.
KCD2 in that regard. But at night, Cohen's vampiric powers activate, which means you can fight with your claws and use your newfound abilities to walk up walls or shadow step across rooftops. Obviously, places are more guarded at night, so you'll need these powers to find new ways to access buildings you can just walk into during daytime. You also have 3 separate skill trees, one for daytime powers, one for vampiric powers, and a shared one, so Cohen will get much stronger as both a sword fighter and as a vampire. But to me, the most interesting part of the game is the quest design, as right from the get-go you have the main objective to save your family.
22 days.
And if you want to risk going straight to the final boss to save them, you can actually try that. There's also a timer attached to this quest, but the devs clarified it does not actually work like a ticking clock. Time is more like a resource you can spend on certain activities. So think more Persona and less Majora's Mask, as I think those chunks under the day-night meter will actually function like a resource that you can spend to progress a quest or something. But yeah,
I think that's actually pretty cool. And I hope that that is also how they do it in Far Cry, because I think I don't think having an actual time, and that's why, of course, like Tom Henderson broke that news, that it was like, okay, we're gonna have a 72-hour window, but that's like way less. Or is it? What was the Far Cry rumor again? Let me grab an article. Far Cry 7 details Insider Gaming. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It said that the players has 24 real life hours. Okay, so no, yeah, it does seem that they are really going for real life hours. But I think how Dawnwalker is doing is way smarter, because then you still are not like feeling the... Like, you wanna play games to relax. And having actual time you spend in game matters. So if you, I don't know, forget to pause the game and someone is asking you a question, it's gonna hurt your overall time you can spend in the world. So you really gotta be full focused. While in Dawnwalker, it seems that you can basically run around as much as you want, kill enemies and stuff like that, and the time will not progress. But the moment you do a quest, it says, okay, this will cost you 2 bars or something from this timer. And then you kind of know, okay, I'm going to invest in this, I'm going to invest in this. Like Persona. Because like running around in that game is also kind of unlimited, but the moment you go do an activity, that is when the time actually progresses. So I think that is a way better system. I hope Far Cry does that too. But again, all we have are the rumors. But I think like having an actual 24 hours to finish the game, yeah, that's not good. I say the combat is more like For Honor. That's a good comparison, actually. I hate that you have to pause for special abilities. Yeah, it's kind of wild to me. We've already invented the ability wheel. That is way more fun than... It really takes you out of the combat that you have to... I think at one point we will see it right here. Yeah, that you really have... Because the combat is actually pretty fast. But... yeah, having that full window where... I thought we were going to see it, right? I think it's like the abilities. Yeah, here this. Yeah, that is way too long. They have to get shortcuts. I hope they are doing that. I don't think that's a good idea, no. What happened to the Blade game? Well, it's still in development at Arcane, of course. Arcane Lyon. Whoa, 10 million views. That's crazy. Almost 10 million views. But yeah, they did Deathloop, of course, in 2021. So... And we're gonna hear about crazy Microsoft layoffs maybe today. So... in maybe an hour or something. And... that is kind of the thing also with this game. I think it can go really well. Like these... I hope that this is the Insomniac Spider-Man moment for Arcane. Because even though Dishonored is beloved, and Deathloop as well, I love Deathloop. I think it was a very cool game. It never reached the mainstream heights that I do think those games that they are making deserve in terms of quality. So yeah, give them the Marvel IP, just like with Spider-Man and Insomniac. Like Insomniac made many great games, but not a lot of people made that or played them, like a Sunset Overdrive and the Resistance trilogy. But having, Spider-Man of course propelled them to new heights, and this might be what happens with Arcane as well. It's gonna be third person too, which of course interesting for them. But yeah, it's still alive. But like that's what I was like alluding to with the Microsoft layoffs. Microsoft, I said it during the free roam podcast as well, and it seems like it's already going to happen way before I anticipated. But they have too many games coming out. You cannot have a Doom, The Dark Ages for a few $100 million and have it be what it was. It was really a week of hype, and nobody talked about it. And I remember Doom Eternal was way bigger. So they're now just they cannot give every game the proper spotlight, and they just have to focus on a few big titles, make third-party deals to fill up Game Pass, and just have their one huge game every quarter, and put the full focus on that. And I do think Blade is totally going to be one of them. But yeah, having Avowed and South of Midnight, and like Avowed worked because it was the only big title they had in that quarter. But then having South of Midnight, the Oblivion remaster, like that kind of took the crown. And Doom the Dark Ages, they had Expedition on Game Pass. It was a lot, and those games all take a long time to complete, apart from, or at least, the big RPGs. So yeah, I'm really scared for the Microsoft layoffs. So it seems like they're gonna drop lay off 10% of the Xbox team. Hey, Quick Dex, good to see you here. Love the AC Shadows. You're my go-to guy for news content. Appreciate that. We're gonna do another Shadows video this week. Skolton, good to see you as well. Like a Blade game, should you play? A Blade game should play like Devil May Cry. I'm not that familiar with like Blade as a character. I already love the aesthetic, and I love Arcane Leon. But I'm not sure if they should go full hack and slash. I do like how the Arcane games are kind of stealth focused too, but we will see. I think Blade will be more Guardians of the Galaxy than an Insomniac Spider-Man. So what I mean by Insomniac Spider-Man is like their moment, so that they will release this game and way more people will finally play an Arcane Leon game. Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good, but it was not what like propelled Eidos Montreal to new heights. Like not a lot of people played it, and the main reason for that was because they were like, oh, I did not like Avengers, oh, Square Enix is making another Marvel game, I'm not gonna buy it. And of course that kind of sucked. When is the new Watch Dogs movie coming out? Good question. I don't know. C3 Mizzo, what did I miss? A lot. No. Only that I'm like still recovering from Ibiza, and you maybe hear it in my voice. And that we're kind of doing a laid back stream here. And we've been talking about Ghost Recon. And yeah, we're just jumping around. Richard saying I want Beyond Good and Evil 2 from Ubisoft. I mean, you're gonna get it. They seem very, very... They want to get that out. They are probably 2 knees deep already. Do you think the AC Shadows recent update had a lot of nerfs? I still need to look to it at the extent of it, but it's mostly the tools, getting back tools from kills, right? But... Or are there more nerfs? I still need to look into it. Again, I came back late last night, and I've been just catching up a bit today. Blazing Flame, good to see you. Yeah, I think we will get a PlayStation State of Play in September, but I don't think they will do first-party focus. What is the tactic right now for State of Plays? It seems to be, okay, we have a lot of these marketing deals. We're gonna put them in, and let's have one more thing at the end. And that is what happened during the last State of Plays, because if they have a full first party State of Play, then you are basically ruining a lot of the things you could use for a State of Play. Like if the previous State of Plays did not have the first party announcement at the end, like not the Sargas or Saros, not the Ghost of Yote that we saw last year at the September State of Play, then those like shows would have been really bad, and then at one point nobody will tune in anymore. Now we know, okay, there's at least going to be one PlayStation Studio reveal, and last time it was of course the fighting game with Marvel characters. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna do a focused PlayStation first party. I think the next time we see a showcase probably when they have to talk about the PlayStation 6. Steven, are you going to Gamescom? I actually want to, but I don't have like any hotel yet, so I should like look into that if I want to go. It's like earlier, it's of course getting very close now. Are you gonna have a live stream for the Ghost gameplay reveal in July? For sure, for sure. So there are some times when I'm not gonna be here. So like like if they do it like this week on Thursday, then I won't be able to make it. So let's hope they don't do that. But all the other possible like weekdays, unless like very end of the month, should be possible. So let's hope they announce that soon. We actually do, talking about Ghost of Yote, we do have a new collector's edition trailer. I wanna look at once or something. Yeah. So yeah, we got a new collector's edition trailer for Ghost of Yote. So let's look at it. It has some new gameplay, but overall, I think it's interesting that the collector's edition is still not sold out. And usually around this time, like I remember pre-ordering a God of War, Spider-Man, or Horizon collector's edition. They were like, you had to be ready. You had to be ready. But Ghost of Yote, for some reason, people are not really biting. So yeah, it's still available on their direct website. We might go to the Dutch version. Let's see. No, it's... Yeah, here, 250. You can like still add it. Which kind of crazy. So that's likely why they put up the collector's edition trailer. Let's see what it has, because it actually, again, shows some brand new gameplay as well. Okay, we saw some bits of new gameplay. So let's see what it has. Okay, so these look actually pretty cool. So, of course, you get, like, avatars. I think you might already get them, like, right now. But yeah, they have the avatars of all the targets we're gonna go after. That fox looks awesome, by the way. Oh, I have to be fast. Here. Awesome. And yeah, an in-game mask, a gold one. Okay, that mask looks pretty awesome. That looks pretty awesome. Snake armor. She looks like a completely different character wearing this. Is that like based on the snake target? I think it is, right? Ooh, sword kit. Yeah, that looks awesome. Gold one. Deluxe edition horse and saddle. Okay, that's very hard to see the saddle here. But that's my biggest thing as well with this. I already bought the Ghost of Tsushima Collector's Edition, so I already have this mask, but in black. So I really, that's the reason why I did not buy it yet. I would have loved, like, an actual cool statue. Because Horizon, like, the Tremor Tusk, getting that. Spider-Man, of course. The Venom statue is amazing. I already have this. So 250, it's too much. Cool, yeah. They had this, I think, in the Ghost of Tsushima one too. Yeah, you have the sash with all the names of the targets on it, okay. It's cute, I guess. It's cute. Yeah. Oh, what's this? So yeah, you get like a physical version of the game that she's playing. So it's a first person. So this is gonna be the Orlok, the Gwent of Ghost of Yotei. What was the game called in Machine Strike in Horizon? Like, of course, every open world game now has to have their own mini game. So it looks like it's based on a real thing, I think. So yeah, it's seemingly we have to have our hand and then push the coin and then hit the other one or something. Yeah, and then move it maybe off the table, and then there's like a blockade of... I've not looked like into this, but it's cool to actually see it in game. So you get that in real life too, so you can, I guess, play the game. Okay, these look pretty cool. Again, the wolf is like very important. It's gonna be a companion, but I don't know. I still think it's playable or something. So it's like and a lot of people in the comments, and rightfully so, are like, no disc, no gain, no physical disc. A lot, and I get the reason that some of these companies give. So say you have Assassin's Creed Shadows. You have collector's editions for Xbox, for PC, and for PlayStation. Then it actually makes sense to do or let's actually rephrase it. Like, I can see both sides. A physical disc, right now, I get it. You buy a collector's edition, which only includes physical items. But right now, we are in a situation where people have the PS5 Pro. And I remember people messaging me saying, yo, I bought the collector's edition for Shadows before I got my PS5 Pro, and I don't have a disc drive. So I have the disc for Shadows, but I cannot use it. So I think in terms of like for a PlayStation collector's edition, getting the digital code for the game makes more sense. It still sucks, but I think it also sucks to get a physical, like buy the collector's edition and then not be able to use the game. Now everyone can use it. And still like not amazing, but you could sell the code and get a physical copy. Balthazar, Jordan is literally dissecting bits of piece of gameplay. Sony's cruel for this. They said that we had to wait till July. It's almost July. We can finally have more gameplay. So now every bit of new footage is appreciated. That like horse and saddle just doesn't look that good. I think the sword kit looked awesome though. Yeah, we still don't know what the charm is, and the traveler's map should unlock like locations for skill points where we can get those. I hate it when they finally drop like a new trailer. We're hungry for new gameplay, and they're like, well, let's just reuse the 2 bits of footage that we have from the other 2 trailers that are already very short. We're dying out here, Sony. But yeah, we know they will, of course, give us something in July. We'll, of course, cover that too, do a live react of that as well. So be sure to subscribe. And yeah, let me know if you're going to get the collector's edition or not. Goodbye. Maybe also with the... with after the gameplay, more people are going to get it. But I do think that collector's editions are really for the hardcore people. They will get the game no matter what. So them not selling out on collector's editions, yeah, it's not good. But I think it's because of the content of the collector's edition, not because the game, I think, won't be popular. We can ride a horse confirmed. Make Motorhead, I was really like, I was like doubting that if we could. But I'm happy that they're showing the same footage that we already seen 10 times to confirm once again that we can ride a horse. Like, I've played every PS4 game I missed on PS5. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. Gotta love backwards compatibility. I used to do this when I was 10. Well, how do you do it? So the mini game. The only reason I bought a PS5 with a disc drive is so I can play movies. Do you have like a lot of Blu-ray discs, Make Motorhead? Yeah, I'm just gonna buy the standard edition. That's enough for me. Again, and I think $250 for a collector's edition, That's the half of the price of the PS5. Again, if I can get a Tremor Tusk, yes. If I can get the elephant from Horizon as an insane statue, I'm all for that. I mean, buying that statue separately would have cost me 100 something as well. So then I also get the game. Like, you want the collection edition to be a deal. Right now, it's not a deal. That Ghost Mask is like gonna be $40, $50 max if you would buy that separately. You have a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays. People forget DVDs are not even HD. Like, it would be the same as watching a YouTube video at 540p. That is like watching a DVD. Difference is, a YouTube video you likely watch on your phone, which is a very smaller screen, or you watch on your computer screen, not on a huge... I think it's crazy that people that have like a 4K HDR screen, and then they put in a DVD, because that's what they are used to. And, I don't get it. Is the PS6 gonna be a handheld? Because that might me hold off on Switch too. So, East Blue Drew, it does seem that Sony is working on a handheld, but it will likely be, a PS5 handheld, if that makes sense. So, I think it's gonna be able to run PS5 games, but not PS6 games. So, it's gonna be very confusing, but I do think, maybe even more so than during this PS5 generation, that the PS6 is gonna, the PS5 is gonna be supported for another 9 years, 8 years. So when the PS6 comes out in 2028, that is like 3 years from now, I do think we still have like 5-6 years of PS5 games coming out. So then they can all run on the PS5 handheld. So yeah, but next generation is gonna be crazy, I think. Because the PS6, I think, will be more like a pro situation instead of it being the one that people all want to buy. So, we will see. Yeah, give me a statue, art book, steel book, and then I might have bought the collection edition. Again, Craftmore, I don't know who picked these items. They're really not great. Hey, Monster Predator, good to see you as always. Yeah, at least until 2035. I mean, the new Call of Duty this year is still coming out on PS4. And we learned from Sony last week that for the first time there are more PS5 monthly active users than PS4. We're in 2025. The PS4 came out in 2013. So they've been supporting that system for 12 years. 12 years. And it's still going. PS5 came out in 2020. It's going to be supported until 2032 easily. But yeah, maybe longer. Like, at one point, what we are also seeing, of course, with games, we've reached looking at Death Stranding 2, that game looks insane, and that is possible on a PS5. At one point, that is good enough. At one point, you want to work on actual cool new features instead of just pushing that graphical fidelity. So the PS6 is gonna need to have some extra immersive things that are going to be additive. Nice for you and me who want the best thing. But I don't think it. So I really think the PS6 is gonna be more like on PS5. You got your 2D movie at the cinema. Maybe not the best example because, of course, let's put it like this. A PS5 is gonna be how you watch the movie at home. Still good screen. Still pretty fine. But if you go to a Dolby Atmos, if you watch that movie in the cinema, that's gonna be the PS6 experience. Same movie, but in the cinema, it's of course I would not watch a Mission Impossible at home if I have the chance to go to the cinema. Because that's a way better experience. So I think that's going to be kind of how they're going to work. And I think that's pretty fine. But I do think that makes... at one point, Sony also just wants you to play on PlayStation. They don't care. But they are seeing, though, that people who have the new hardware, they are spending more. So they do want you to move over eventually. And yeah, of course, at one point, the PS6 exclusive games will come. But you could argue the first real system seller, Spider-Man 2 was one. We've only had, like, a few system sellers this generation, I would argue, that really pushed people to go get a PS5. Spider-Man 2. GTA is gonna be the next one. Help me here. Movie theater versus IMAX. Sure, but I do hope the PS6 is like a bigger jump than seeing the movie still in cinema versus IMAX. But sure, I get what you're saying, Griffin Peter. Hey, Cloud Strife. Hey, Yor, when do you think the State of Play Ghost of Yotei is happening this month? I hope early. I want to see it right now because we're 2 months away? 3 months. August, September, October. 3 months. I mean, it can happen at any point in July, but let's hope it's like early so they can then finally start the marketing. It's a big game and we've only seen like nothing. PS5 should be pumping out Claire Obscure a month. A Claire Obscure a month. That would be perfect world. But again, I think the Sony tactic is way better than the Microsoft tactic, where they don't have the amount of bandwidth to support all the games they're putting out. Sony is like, Ghost of Yotei is gonna be our big game. If you have a PS5, you need to be here. And Microsoft can't. Like, I think Ghost of Yotei and Doom the Dark Ages cost the same amount of money to make and to market. But I think Doom the Dark Ages, like, it felt like a... was still cool when it came out. And I do think the anticipation for Ghost of Yotei, because there are not a lot of games like it, helps in that sense. So having like a Claire Obscure every month is like too crazy. Highlander Grim, your thoughts on the actor saying you need to play Black Flag again? I mean, he's confirming the remaster or remake, of course. Like, I still think it's crazy that... I still think it's crazy that everyone just thinks they are allowed to say that. Like, why would... Ubisoft is just not able to convince all these people that are working for them that you should not say things that... Like, remember Rockstar... If an actor working on GTA 6 would say something, you would get a call from Rockstar immediately. Be like, what the heck are you doing? I don't know if they're gonna like call the Black Flag voice actor saying, yo, dude. So, yeah, there's something going on, but I mean, we already knew it was gonna... The moment Insider Gaming put out an article, there was all you need to know, right? So... But yeah, it's crazy that more people are like, oh, I thought it was already announced. Oh. I think the next mainline Horizon Blackwood is gonna come out first year of the PS6, but then still come to PS5 as well. So 2029. It's gonna be a while. If GTA 6 runs well on PlayStation 5, everybody will buy it. Oh yeah. Death Stranding 2 physical sales in the UK are 66% lower than DC1. Do you think that's why Yoche isn't going disc for... No. I don't think that's the reason. I really think the collector's edition... people buy a collector's edition for different reasons. They mostly buy the collector's edition for the extra stuff. Of course, the game as well, but mostly for the extra stuff. And I really think... Maybe people who don't have a disk drive, like, I think it's worse for people who don't have a disk drive, a situation that Sony created themselves by selling you a cheaper console and not including it in the PS5 Pro, for Sony to then say, yo, middle finger, if you buy the collection edition, you can't play our game. They have to go with the code, but I get that it sucks for people who want the physical disc. But if you buy the collection edition, like... With the digital code, the collection edition, everyone can play the game. even though people want to put the disc in. Some people cannot put a disc in, so they have to go with the code. And I know it sucks, but there's no other way to do it, I think, for them. So that's kind of the situation we're in. But I get, like, totally, like, give them feedback. I get it. But I don't think it's gonna change anything, because I think they much rather have people say, I want a physical disc, than, oh, I cannot play your game now. And yeah, buy a disc drive. That's that's way too much money, and no. We are waiting longer for PlayStation first party games, but it's still worth it. It's almost like every game is up there. Can't wait for Horizon 3. Yeah, but I do think they have to speed it up. I think the 2 releases they have this year should be the norm. Like 2 big games every year. They have like 20 plus studios. Come on. But I do think they have been great with like licensing. Like Stellar Blade last year really helped. So yeah, they have to do more of that. I think Rise of the Ronin, if it was an actual good game, would have helped too. But that did not really hit, for me at least. I hate the trend of only including a code. Well, yeah, that's kind of the nature of the digital business that we're going into. Discs are gonna get way, like Microsoft is already stopping, but I think only 5% of the Xbox owners buy a disc now. So yeah. I would say near the end of July, because they want to give Death Stranding more hype for now. Yeah, Cloud, I think you make a great point. I just want to see it now, though. In today's gaming scene, it would make way more sense to release physical versions months after release, where the data is on the disc can be more up to date. Way more sense to release physical versions months after release? I mean, it would make more sense to not sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a good solution for that. I really think I would be shocked if you have a PS5 and you don't have an internet connection. So obviously you can just download the latest update, and I think that's way easier than every month updating the disc. Because then you buy the game and you don't have the up-to-date discs. What do you do with all the discs that are not up to date? Like it's a chaotic situation. Wanted to ask you one last time. Oh, did you ever ask that? I don't remember that, Monster Predator. How hard would it be to get into Metal Gear Solid 3 if I kind of disliked? What did you not like about Metal Gear Solid 5? Because the reason I did not really like Metal Gear Solid 5 is that I loved Metal Gear Solid 4 because of the crazy cutscenes and just having this linear story to go through. The moment in Metal Gear Solid 5 where I was like dropped in an open world and doing that is not why I played the Metal Gear games. So that's why I kind of fell off. But I know people love that. I thought it was like cool as a part of the experience while I saw Raiden do some cool shit in a cutscene. Like I was looking forward to every new cutscene. And Metal Gear Solid 5 did not really... Like, I loved the first hour of Metal Gear Solid 5 because it was what I wanted. Like, this cinematic going through this hospital that was insane. But then, yeah, it kind of did not hit for me as much. No, a lot of people still buy the physical day one. I mean, it's still like a sizable amount. But it's getting less and less and less and less and less. If you remove, I think, Nintendo from the equation, I think 80% of the games are now digital. Vibes like character, story, gameplay, I can't take it seriously. Now, then I don't think you will like Metal Gear Solid 3 Monster Predator. Think there will be a PS Portal with an OLED screen in the future. I just ordered the Steam Deck OLED with a 1 terabyte of memory, so I'm excited to play on a handheld. Nice, man. And I'm thinking about buying a PS Portal as well. I think the LED screen on the PS Portal is pretty fine. But I do think an OLED would be great. It is already quite expensive for what it is, though. It's a streaming device. It does not have any tech inside. So putting an OLED screen on it would be $300. I don't know if that's worth it for the Portal myself. So yeah, that's kind of where I am at. But I can see them do like a new version with an OLED screen because it has been very popular, the Portal, more than they thought. But I think they're gonna run the numbers, and I don't think a lot of people that would not have bought a Portal will buy one for the OLED screen. So I'm not sure what the incentive for Sony would be to sell that. Unless it like has a lot of other features too. Like I would be down for a PS Portal that can also run indie games, or like that does have some sort of tag on it, but that might be too complicated. But maybe they would have like a tab on the PlayStation Store where it says PS Portal certified. So then okay, I can play these games without having to connect to the PS Plus or to the PlayStation Network. I think that would be cool. Or like the classic games that you can play the PS Plus Extra or Premium Classic games on the Portal without like being connected to the internet. I think that would be like a solid jump, and then add an OLED screen on that. But I think just a Portal with an OLED screen, I don't think that would make a lot of sense. Is there a chance Mafia the Old Country could surprise you, Baltzar? Yeah, I think so. Totally. I'm probably too harsh on it, but I do think the game has many red flags. But we will see. We will see. It could totally surprise me because, to be fair, my expectations are kind of low. So I hope it's better than I'm thinking. Still think it's gonna be very short though, but could still be a good game that is short. I mean, the Metal Gear Solid like cardboard box thing and stuff like that. That is kind of what makes that game unique. Otherwise, it would be another Splinter Cell. So I love Metal Gear Solid for it. But you can like not use the cardboard box if you want. You can play it more like a traditional stealth game. I think you should still be fine. Yeah, they should add memory to the Portal so it could save the games on the device and only not stream it to crowd or remote play. Yeah, for like again, have it be like, okay, you cannot play like native PS5 games, but there are a lot of games on the PlayStation Store that run on the Switch. So all the games that run on the Switch get like a PS Portal certified, and then you can play them. Don't think they advertised the Portal well. I thought you had to be on the same Wi-Fi as your base PS5 to use it. No, that's not true. No. Yeah, I think it's just of course, like it's based on remote play that has been around for forever, and you also did not have to use the same Wi-Fi for that. You just have to make sure that your PS5 is on a very good Wi-Fi, like with an Ethernet cable, like that's kind of preferred. But yeah, you could always use remote play or the PS Portal from a hotel room as well. I remember I do think they fixed that, right? That first you could not use it in a hotel room because in a hotel room you of course often have to enter a sort of code on a web page, and that was not possible on the Portal. I think they fixed that, but again, it is a first generation device, so I do think with the next iteration, people will finally understand it better. And again, I hope they have some internal tech in there too, so you can play some native games. I know that now, yeah, Melissa. Well, still not enough to have you buy it, right? You don't have it. Linear story games are normally within the 6-10 hour range. I think that's fine for $50. We will see, Warren. Every time I say Mafia the Old Country is like probably gonna be 6 hours, people are like, what? No, I think 15 hours. Yeah, the Portal originally had no browser. Yeah, it's just the most stable on the same Wi-Fi for sure. Yeah. Are you looking forward to playing Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers? I actually am. Yeah. No, I hope we get like a code for it so I can like play it a bit here and there. But yeah, it's more Souls-like though. I thought it was gonna be more Stellar Blade Wukong. It seems more Souls-like. But I do like the powers you get from defeating the boss. I think the art style setting is really cool. So I hope they show Wolverine at the September State of Play. I hope so too, because I think it's the 2026 game. I think that would be perfect. They also showed Ghost of Yotei at the September State of Play. So yeah, that's like the end. And that's their October game for this year. And I think Wolverine would be the October game for next year, you would hope. So yeah, it would be cool to see that game again. Although, it's like a big Marvel property. I can see them like save that for the Game Awards. Like that's what we see with Sony too. They do save some of their big games like an Intergalactic for a bigger stage where they can also reach people who are not interested in a PlayStation 5 or don't own one yet. And maybe by seeing Wolverine, they're like, ooh, maybe I should get a PS5 after all. And I don't think people that don't own the PlayStation 5 watch a State of Play. So yeah, maybe it's smarter for them to save Wolverine for the Game Awards. I'm not gonna check out Anno. It's not really a game for me, but I think it's cool that it seems to be looking good for people, right? Saros needs a gameplay reveal soon as well. Yeah, I think that's more a PlayStation State of Play thing, and it should still be this year. So I think we're getting a September State of Play. We could get another one at the end of the year. I think they at one point did like a December one, although I think a January, February one makes more sense, but we will see. I have no faith in Wolverine being released this generation. No, they have to. Because they have Spider-Man 3 likely as a launch game for PS6. Imagine that. Imagine that. Still waiting on the Crimson Death release day. Yeah, I think it's going to be the Gamescom, right? They already confirmed to be there. So if they're still launching this year, they have to do Gamescom. Didn't PlayStation have a roadmap that had Wolverine and Intergalactic? Yeah, but it was like they had like a roadmap saying, oh, we release these games every year. And then they basically showed coming up. And then they had Wolverine and Intergalactic. And they said we were going to launch a new single-player game at least every year. And, yeah, Wolverine, Intergalactic were there. Like, I think Wolverine is the first big... So they did not put Saros in their presentation at all. Likely because they know, okay, realistically, that's like 3 million. I think Returnal sold like a few million, not a lot. 2, maybe. So I think Saros will... I think they hope Saros will do better, but they know it's not going to be Ghost of Yota. Like, I think Ghost of Yota is going to sell in one day what Saros is going to sell lifetime. Unless Saros like this Game of the Year thing that people are raving on about. But I think they should launch, by the way, Saros day one on PC. I think it would actually be smart of them, but I don't think they're going to do that. But, yeah. So, it's not in the same league. So I think after Ghost of Yota, the next big single-player game is Wolverine. And again, I think October next year makes sense. Have Horizon Online before that. Or early 2027. I don't know about that game. If it's still live. You going back to Cyberpunk with the new 2.3 release. Why do you think they're still updating it after saying they're moving on? Well, Rogue, they recently announced that Phantom Liberty sold 10 million units. I think Cyberpunk is now at 30 million. That's an insane attachment rate for a DLC, and I think that might have surprised them. I think it's kind of similar to the Division 2 situation, where at one point they had the Warlords of New York expansion for Division 2, and then after that they were kind of like, okay, this is going to be our final hurrah. And then many people showed up for that DLC. It was kind of a big deal. And then they were like, crap, we put all our people on Avatar and Outlaws, and now nobody's making Division 2 stuff. And they were like, okay, but yeah, we still want to continue with Division 2. There is still an audience for it. And now, of course, they have been updating Division 2 with seasons. They did like a smaller DLC recently. I think that kind of happened with Cyberpunk 2. They did not expect the game to... Like, a lot of these decisions are made years in advance. And they did not expect Cyberpunk to be still as big today. But it is. And it keeps selling. They had a Switch 2 version now. So... And I think they figured out a way to support the game. And rumors are that Witcher 3 is going to get a DLC as well. Like, they figured out a way to support these big games without impacting the timeline for their upcoming titles. Like, their focus is Witcher 4, of course, right now. And they are working with Virtuos to do the updates for Cyberpunk. Obviously, there are still people inside CDPR that are overseeing everything, but they're mostly on Witcher 4 and Cyberpunk 2. And Witcher 4 is like 2027 at the earliest. They have like a Witcher 1 remake and other stuff, but they need to make money until then. And they are seeing opportunities for that. So that's why I think they're still supporting it. They were surprised by the amount of people that are still playing it, and they found a way to still support the game without it impacting the pipeline of the games that they have. I'm wondering when Starfield comes to PlayStation. Yeah, I was really expecting this year, but my theory is that because of course the DLC last year did not do very well, that they maybe took more time because they wanted to launch a new Starfield DLC every year, and yeah, September was kind of their month, but maybe they're like, okay, that last DLC only made things worse for them, so I think they're probably gonna be like, okay, let's take our time. Microsoft has a shit ton of games anyways. Let's take our time and maybe in February or something do the big comeback for Starfield. Launch it on PS5 day one as a complete edition with those 2 DLCs. Launch the DLC on PC and Xbox. Make this big event and have it actually be meaningful instead of rush it out the door. So again, they have Gears of War on August on PS5. They have Hellblade 2 still coming to PS5. Outer Worlds 2 is coming to PS5. Like, they don't need it right now. And I think maybe with Outer Worlds 2, they were also like, that was kind of my thing as well with having Oblivion remaster, and they had like too many games that are asking for a lot of attention around the same time. And Starfield and Outer Worlds 2 are kind of similar, of course. Like, looking at them, playing them is completely different, but they're space RPGs with a lot of role-playing elements. They're kind of similar. So yeah, I do think it makes sense that they have time. I think it makes sense for them to give Bethesda Game Studios the time to make something meaningful because they have a ton of other games. Probably end of the year. I think early next year, but we will see. Could still totally be end of the year. Markerman, I just started Cyberpunk. Nice, enjoy. So yeah, for the Starfield situation, I think it's gonna be early next year. Crimson Desert release date, yeah. I believe the November one. There's room for it. There is room for it. Cloud Strive, what's your most hyped games for July? Yeah, I feel like a catch-up month too. August and September, even October is gonna be crazy. No, I still have some catching up to do as well. But to be fair, I've been busy with a lot of like other things outside of gaming too, so kind of been focused on that. But I wanna pick up a game here and there that I kind of wanna finish some things off. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. But and maybe like pick up Ghost of Tsushima again to kind of get into that groove again. Like at one point I will be full focused on Yote. So, but yeah, Wuchang in July, I want to give it a shot. It's on Game Pass. If I get a code early, that would be nice. Spider-Man Miles Morales style game within the next 3 years. I really thought like after Uncharted Lost Legacy, after Miles Morales, that Sony would have more of those games because they're relatively cheap. They can get them out sooner. Seems like they're more interested in the big tentpole titles that go on to sell 15 million, and yeah, I don't know. It's still interesting, but it's like, of course, I always try to make predictions based on like logic and not just be like, oh. But it's kind of hard with Sony right now because I don't think they know what they're doing, and we are in that live service like initiative for them, so. But yeah, I always thought the new God of War, like Miles Morales type game, would be a lock-in. But, yeah. Any date for Phantom Blade Zero yet, Joel? No. They are going to announce it before the end of the year, though. And they have seemingly an event very soon. So, I think it's going to be like next year, August, something like that. I think it's going to be 2026. I think we'll see a teaser for the Black Myth DLC in December. Oh, man. I can't wait for that. I love Black Myth Wukong. Blackwood, what's your prediction for Game of the Year? I still think my tweet after Grand Theft Auto 6 got delayed is valid. Like, I did many takeaways after GTA 6 got delayed. One of them was, okay, Expedition 33 just won Game of the Year. CDPR doesn't want to show up by Dawnwalker? What do you mean by that? Melissa. I play Oblivion Remaster gets a physical copy release date. Did it not get a physical copy on PlayStation? I mean, it makes sense for the for the Shadow Drop, of course. You can't have a Shadow Drop be a physical release. But yeah, especially now after launch, I think you're just hurting your own enjoyment if you're not gonna buy a game because it doesn't have a physical copy. I'm sorry, because you can wait, but the chance of it happening are slim. And are you really not gonna play a game you want to play because it doesn't have a disc? I think that's kind of crazy, to be honest. The other Game of the Year nominations, we have like 5 slots, right? It's gonna be one Nintendo game. I don't think it's Mario Kart World, though. It feels like that really came and went. Metroid, I think has an option. I think Donkey Kong will not be good enough, but it will be like Family Game of the Year or something. And of course we have Expedition 33 then. I think, yeah, Kingdom Come, of course, has a chance. Sony probably gets a spot too. Death Stranding 2 has a high chance to be nominated. Ghost of Yotei could be nominated. So then we're already at 4 slots, right, of the 6. Blueprints, like the puzzle game, of course. Many people love that. We have the Altars. We just had that. I think many people love that too, right? It's gonna be an interesting one, though. It's gonna be an interesting, like, who gets the nominations. But I think in terms of who's gonna win, it's gonna be Expedition. Like, this is what Metacritic has so far. Here, Blueprints. Split Fiction, yeah, that totally has a shot too. I mean, of course, It Takes Two won Game of the Year that year. Death Stranding 2, yeah. I think you got the nominations already here. I don't think this will get nominated. This will also not get nominated. Monster Hunter Wilds won't get nominated. I really hope, man, that there's love for Kingdom Come. I hope it. I really hope so. Monster Train 2, what the heck is that? You think India's gonna get a nomination? No. Sir Karas, thanks for joining. Blueprint Schedule 1. Oh yeah, Schedule 1, another one of those. I don't think it will get a nomination, though. Like, that's I think really the disconnect with the people that are voting and people who are actually playing the games. So I don't think it will get a nomination. Nice, Tony. Great to hear that you love Death Stranding 2 so far. Doom the Dark Ages should win Best Family Game for sure. But yeah, I don't think Indiana Jones is gonna get a nomination. It's a great game, obviously, but people have forgot about it. That was a last year game. That's yeah. The moment you launch in December, you're not gonna get a Game of the Year thing. Cyberpunk also did not get a Game of the Year notification, of course, because of the state it launched in. It's a meme game, yeah. Thanks, Vesricola, for joining. I think I'm gonna end the stream a bit earlier today as well. Again, as you hear my voice, I need to give it some rest so I can record some fun stuff for you later in the week. It was a really fun time as always. Of course, we do this every week, same time, same channel. So subscribe if you have not already. And yeah, I usually post like videos throughout the week as well. It kind of depends on if there's like news worth reacting to. But yeah, I want to do a Shadows video this week. There have been some nerfs, like people said. We have some items to talk about. So that's going to be exciting. And who knows what else happens. Maybe we hear about Ghost of Yotei, about the state of play. We'll, of course, be live reacting to that. And yeah, thanks as always for watching. I have a great time doing these streams every week. Thanks, bro.